feel that, if before I purchase a product, I want to test drive it. No, not test drive.
Hi, I'm CJ and I'm 24 this year.
Hi, my name is Andy. I'm 25 this year.
Hi, I'm Gwyneth. I'm 23 this year.
Hi, I'm Charlene and I'm 23 this year.
Hi, I'm Fer and I'm 22 this year.
Premarital sex is wrong and should only happen after marriage.
I can't say that something is right or wrong, especially when it comes to this kind of topic. It should be your choice. You can choose not to have sex before marriage if you want to, but you shouldn't impose your judgment onto people who choose to have sex before marriage and vice versa.
I think that right and wrong is something that, like what Gwen said, is something that is decided by yourself. But I personally don't think that it is wrong. Having sex before marriage is one of the way to see your compatibility with one another as well. And if you want to say that this, it should happen after marriage and things like that, this is a very different way of thinking that varies from people to people and how they are brought up, not only how they are brought up, their religious beliefs and things like that.
I guess there's nothing really wrong with premarital sex. It's just what I'm more worried about is the unplanned pregnancies that come with it. Because when you're not married, right, then there's a lot of legalities surrounding all these kind of things. And then if you want to give birth to the baby, you need to make a lifelong commitment, which is to give the baby a good life. So if you're not prepared, then it's like you never give the baby the best life he or she could have had if you plan properly.
All right, don't let one moment of toot become one moment of regret. A lifetime of regret.
Traditional Asian values influence society's opinions on premarital sex.
For me, I agree because I see it as like a media/TV show point of view. Like, I feel local television shows, they rarely touch on any intimacy between like couples in general. Even if so, it's just like the simple kiss and like that's it.
It's all the values, right? It all points to this word called conservative, and we need to be conservative in everything we need to do. Like, it all links to like dignity and everything. That's why now, right, people don't talk about sex because it's very like taboo. Definitely, it had a huge influence in when we are all growing up. Confirm plus shock.
Like what you see, if there's a huge influence on the society, right? Shouldn't people be behaving more of the way that we were taught to be and not the opposite way?
I mean, it's called this called rebel. Like, your family keep you in a room. Necessarily, you want to go out. You want to run away from home.
Values are basically like very broad ideas that guide your behavior. I think we can all agree that values affect our behavior because you are bombarded with them in everyday life, like in your media, by your parents, in your school. But the thing is that, like Andy mentioned, you can choose to go against it. And there's a lot of contrasting information that can be given to you at any time. Like, we don't live in an isolated society. Even if an Asian culture apparently tells you that premarital sex should be avoided, there's a lot of other countries and cultures around us that may tell us differently. So it's up to you to decide where you want to stand, and you don't have to be a slave to all these influences.
Dating someone who is abstinent is a deal breaker.
I feel that, before I purchase a product, I want to test drive it. No, not test drive. You guys know this will come out, right? Okay, but yeah, when I want to buy a car, I need to test drive it. What if the car is not to my standards? Like, oh no, it accelerates too slowly. It's too bumpy. Okay, something like that. So I think it's important. I think it's when you look at a relationship between two people, you look at a lot of things like their values, their mindset, their humor, and sex is one of those things. If you for some reason choose not to have sex before marriage, then you are omitting one very important part that may determine the future happiness of you and your partner.
For me, like, I agree because when I'm dating someone or when I'm in a relationship with them, I think at my age right now, I don't see as like dating to get married. So it's like if I'm with someone and they don't want to have sex until married, it's like okay, but I don't really see possible marriage with you, or like I don't see tied down with you. So maybe for me it's like no, you don't wanna like suddenly get married to someone who's his dick isn't working, or like he has like ED, and then you'll be like stuck with the rest of your life with a guy like that.
Okay, actually, I'm very shook that everyone here has the same idea of before you want to buy something, you want to test it out. Because I thought like, hey, you want to stop objectifying your own partner, this kind of thing. But the thing is, I think that respecting your partner is also a very important thing as well. You all need to have communication as to you all want to what kind of you want to have sex or not, this kind of thing and things like that. Communication and respect is very important for each other lah. So if your partner doesn't want, you can convince them, but you should never force them.
Increased acceptance of premarital sex is due to pornography.
I'll put it bluntly, I think the first time that we hear porn, right, is from a porn website, is it? Cannot be you see it in real life, what? Cannot be you do it, right? The first time your exposure to it is through porn. But when you can see it, means you will learn it. When you learn it, then you want to try it.
Porn has actually existed since very long time ago in different forms.
To access
But now it's access lah. And I'm sure many people have had premarital sex even before our parents' generation. It's just that nobody really talk about it. I feel like the increased acceptance is from media. Like nowadays a lot of shows got more and more sex scenes. Then Game of Thrones. Okay, recently I watched Game of Thrones. Then Game of Thrones also got a lot of sex scenes.
What I think is really what increased the acceptance is that the people around you are talking about it. The people around you are experiencing it.
If your friends are doing it and they're happy about it and they tell you about it, doesn't that communicate a message to you like implicitly, like saying that sex is good, go for it, don't worry about it?
I've seen two different sides. One of my personal friends, right? They have done it and they have no problems with it, So it could, maybe it is an implicit message to me that hey, it's nothing is wrong with it. But I have the other side of the friends as well who have done it once and they shotgun immediately.
They did it once and they hit the jackpot.
Yeah, once. That is how bad it is.
Teaching youths about safe sex will encourage them to not be abstinent.
If you actually didn't teach them about it, right, then and they are really, really curious, they go to porn website and see, right? When you go to porn website, right, then they expose the content, right? Expose the content, right? Some of the contents are really, really undesirable, like the guy forcing the girl, or or some rape content, shit like that. This is actually worse.
Then they also may have a false opinion on sex, like girls should have should be clean shaven, that kind of thing, or like guys should be clean shaven, or it should be this way, it should be that way, that kind of thing, which is not very healthy lah.
I feel many guys especially, they'll tend to objectify women in that sense. Because when they are exposed, then they would see all those like some undesirable plots of porn. Then they would glorify it. Then they might think it's okay to impose on their future partners, which sometimes can be problematic because in the long run, if they don't stop to like learn about it, then they will really think it's okay.
Yeah, safe sex programs, they are not only about sex. They're also like when you mentioned, because when you incorporate a lot of topics like consent and respecting the other person and setting of boundaries, these are all teaching very valuable information that the kid will probably think about when they're making such decisions in the future. And it will not stop the craziest of them, like the perverts who really want to go out there and harass and violate the dignity of other people, but it will minimize the cases. That's why education is very important.
Are you from those school? You're from those school, right?
No, I'm not. I'm from
those school.
Oh,
But
yeah, how was it there?
It's all very chastity is a very important thing there. Like most of my friends, right, they're all like they think about dick, right? Then they'll be like, like that kind of thing.
Thank you for watching our premarital sex episode. We hope this episode was a little bit insightful, so please do ask for consent and practice safe sex.
Be sure to subscribe to SG Layers, and if you'd like to join the conversation or share your stories, comment down below. Stay safe, and we'll see you next week.